Hey, Pidpie, Luke here. What a night's sleep, I'm tired. And speaking of tired, why do we sleep? I mean, couldn't we just stay awake forever? That is a very good question. You see, when it gets dark, your brain releases a chemical called melatonin, which makes you start to feel drowsy and prepares you for sleeping. The longest anyone has ever gone intentionally without sleeping, without using any stimulants, was 11 days and 25 minutes. And that was by a man named Randy Gardner. When you experience REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, or dreaming sleep, your muscles get paralyzed so that you don't reenact scenes or characters from your dream. The founder of the Vsauce Center for Science and Education said in his book, The Study of Weeaboos, quote, "Why did I choose this career path? The city was the first to proclaim fidget spinning a public health crisis. In my house, if you wear a red nose like a clown, you're considered a psychopath. Oh crap! Spooky, scary skeletons and shiver in your spine. Spooky, scary, shock your souls continue tonight." When Jesus goes from this planet, there would have been no one to preach the word. And that's why there are saints.
Warning, this video is going to talk about saints, which is related to Christianity. If you do not want to hear anything about Christianity, whether it is personal preference or your beliefs, then please exit the video now, because I'm just going to basically speak everything that you do not wish to hear. Thank you, and please do not complain. Yeah guys, so I go to this Catholic school and they want me to make a presentation about a saint. And so when I need to choose between an oral presentation and a digital presentation, I just go like, yeah, digital presentation is probably a more profitable and practical way of presenting. So I was just on Catholic Online looking at the list of popular saints in 2017. Saint Bean, I bet he's the patron saint of comedy. Saint Polycarp, that is a very interesting name. Saint Star Movie, oh wait, let me adjust it a bit. There, much better. So at this point I realized that looking at the list of saints is not going to help me decide, because I'm supposed to have an interesting saint so that I could get this presentation over the 10-minute mark, which is when I realized, hey, I went to this school called St. Gabriel before. Who in the world is St. Gabriel? Oh, he's the angel that went to Mary and said, yo, you're having a child. His name is going to be Jesus, and he's a really important dude. The most important dude that is ever going to be born on this planet, so, yeah, that's all I've been told to tell you, so, bye. So, I went to their Wikipedia page, and then went to their list of buildings, and, de Montfort. Who's he? And so we can probably tell by the title of this video that today I'm going to be making a presentation of St. Louis de Montfort. So, let's get straight into it. Oh, and he looks like this, by the way, just so you know. St. Louis de Montfort, full name, St. Louis Mary Grignon de Montfort, was born in the town of Montfort-sur-Meuse, France, on January 31st, 1673. He was the oldest surviving son of 18, born to Jean-Baptiste and Jean-Robert Grignon, and when he was 12, he entered Jesuit College of St. Thomas Becket in Reims, where he began to develop a strong faith in the Blessed Virgin Mary. And then some stuff happens. Goes to Paris with the help of someone, blah blah blah, finds out that someone didn't provide enough money for him, and then lives among the homeless, blah blah blah, attends Sorbonne University. In the meantime, blah blah blah, gets sick, goes to the hospital, and then after he gets out of the hospital, he is surprised to find out that someone had reserved him a place in St. Sulpice. And because he was given the position of the librarian, he basically had access to all the books in the library, particularly ones about the Virgin Mary, which later led to his focus on the Holy Rosary and his acclaimed book, The Secret of the Rosary. He was ordained a priest in June of 1700 and was assigned to Nantes, where he founded the Company of Mary in 1705. It was also around this time where he met Blessed Mary Louise Trichet. This meeting between them marked the beginning of her 34 years of service to the poor.
Now, I want you to guess where he went next. A. 127 kilometers or 79 miles back to his hometown, Montfort-sur-Meuse. B. 385 kilometers or 239 miles back to Nantes. Or C. 1,675 kilometers or 1,041 miles to Rome. You guessed it, he went to Rome. And so he went, as he trekked 1,675 kilometers or 1,041 miles to Rome to ask this guy, Pope Clement XI, what to do in France. And he answered with a profoundly wise, "There's a lot." Well, I can't say I'm surprised by his answer. Montfort then went back to preach in France as usual, and slowly became known as a missionary. One notable moment was at the town of Ponchato? Whatever, I'm just gonna call it Ponchitos. He had attracted hundreds of people to help him in the construction of a huge cavalry. Not cavalry, lads, cavalry! And do you know how there's always like one party that's way too loud because, you know, neighbors don't exist? And there's always that one party pooper like the cops or your parents, which in that case, why are you partying with your parents home? Well, in this case, the party poopers are the bishop. And the King of France ordered the bishop that it was to be destroyed. And so in response, the bishop forbade its benediction. Well, thanks, oh bishop. Ha! Ha! Montfort's life became increasingly busy as he went on preaching missions and establishing schools for the poor. However, despite of this, he still managed to find time to write books, such as The True Devotion to Mary, The Secret of Mary, and The Secret of the Rosary, as well as other things, like the rules for the Company of Mary, and another congregation he founded, the Daughters of Wisdom, and over 20,000 verses of hymns. Of course, nothing lasts forever. Well, the kingdom of God does, but nothing on earth really lasts forever. You probably know what I'm about to say with this introduction and stuff, because in April of 1716, he traveled to St. Lawrence-sur-Sever to complete his last mission. He did not leave the town or retire, however, as he lost his life there to natural causes on the 28th of that month and year. He was only 43 and had only been a priest for 16 years. He had established 3 congregations, the Company of Mary, Daughters of Wisdom, and Brothers of St. Gabriel, which have now become multinational congregations. He had many works to his name, such as The True Devotion to Mary, The Secret of Mary, and The Secret of the Rosary. He was beatified by Pope Leo XIII in 1888 and was canonized by Pope Pius XII on September 19th, 1947. 43 years later, Mary Louise Trichet died in St. Lawrence-sur-Sever and was buried next to Montfort in St. Louis de Montfort's Basilica. She died on the same day of St. Montfort, April 28th. He wasn't perfect, of course. He often had temper problems because of his father's bad temper, but he still managed to become an excellent saint despite this. This, combined with his immense faith in the Blessed Virgin Mary, as well as Christianity in general, and his diligentness in preaching and establishing the kingdom of God on earth, is what makes this saint so special, and is a trait I would like to have myself. St. Louis Mary Grignion de Montfort is the patron saint of preachers
and his feast day is on the 28th of April.
But yeah, guys, thanks for watching this video. This took me 3 days, so yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Here is a filler video of me dabbing like an idiot, because, well, I don't know what to put in the end, and, well, this probably is just wasting your time, because you've already seen and listened to the idiot for the past 10 minutes. So yeah, I hope you all have a good day. Please leave a like and subscribe, and then I'll see you later. Goodbye! And now I sound like those Minecraft YouTubers saying goodbye. Bye.